Hello everybody and welcome to the GKaiser Age. My name is Lucian GKaiser and today we're going to be taking a look at Bandai Tamashii Nation's Hi-MetalR VF-1D Valkyrie from Macross Super Dimensional Fortress. This is an awesome figure and let's go ahead and take a closer look at it and see why it is so awesome and iconic as one of the first Valkyries that we get to see in the show actually go through its transformation and actually show up in Roid Mode. So let's get started. GKaiser Age launching. Alright, so here we have the VF-1D Valkyrie from Super Dimensional Fortress Macross. And again, this figure is brought to you by none other than Ami. They are a fantastic website for ordering Macross Valkyries and any other kind of Japanese animation or any of the figures that you like from some of your favorite shows, as well as accessories, other items, things like that. So definitely check them out. They're a great place to shop for anything from Japan anime wise, and as always their prices are great. Their shipping is super fast. I got this so much faster than I anticipated on getting it, and the shipping price was fairly good, so definitely recommend checking them out. But let's go ahead and get started taking a look at the VF-1D. So we're going to start out with fighter mode here and take a nice quick look. Once again, like with all the other Hi-MetalR Valkyries that I have reviewed, the details on this figure are fantastic. A lot of panel lines and a lot of really great molded in color. And some markings, just some basic ones, nothing like, you know, super small detailed markings or anything like that, but enough to give it some nice look to it. The coloring is super accurate to the show, and I appreciate that. It's got that nice light brown with the orange on it, that trainer orange. You even have the inner engine exhaust details right there. As always, it's fantastic. Let's go ahead. We're going to open up the cockpit here. Now, it's not on a hinge or anything like with the other Hi-MetalRs. It's just removable because that's part of the transformation as well. Now, as you can see, there are two spots for two characters to sit. Now, one of the unfortunate things about this figure is while it does come with an awesomely painted and detailed Hikaru, it does not come with a Minmay that can actually sit in the cockpit. It does come with a Minmay though, and we'll get into that figure's detail when we get to the next part with the Guardian, or I should say Jaywalk Mode. I'm just going to put the cockpit right back on there, and as you can see, he looks really cool sitting in there. Now, of course, you can put one of the other figures in the seat here from one of the other sets of the Hi-MetalR Valkyries, but I really wish it had come with a Minmay that sits there. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the landing gear. So like all the other Hi-MetalR figures, the landing gear are not retractable. You actually have to pull them off and put them in place after you pull off the landing gear panels, but I don't mind that. Again, I just like the detail on them. They're very well detailed landing gear, and I'm really not going to be rolling the figure around on the ground anyway, because I mean, it's meant to be flying. It's meant to be on a stand and displayed that way, so it's no big deal breaker for me. And I prefer this versus having landing gear that could possibly wear out in the future. So, yeah, I really don't mind it at all. It's very cool. And of course, as always, the wings can swing. So they can swing forward that far, and then of course, back. And if you want to pose it as if it is in storage on a carrier deck, you can still fold down the ailerons here, or the tail fins, I should say. That, and fold those back out. Go. So let's go ahead and swap out the landing gear. Oh, you can also see on the underside here, engine air intakes. Not super detailed, but enough to give it a nice look. You can even see the barrels of the Gatling gun. Alright, so let's go ahead and pull off the landing gear. Always give it a little wiggle. They fit in there nice and tight, but I always just give them a little bit of a wiggle before I start to pull them out, just to make sure I don't accidentally break anything. There we go, put that one on there. And then we're gonna go ahead, put the other back in place. And these stay locked in nice and good, so no matter what mode you're playing with the figure in, they stay in there nice and neat and flush to the figure. I appreciate that bit of mechanical detailing. Now let's go ahead and we're gonna do the nose. The nose. That one right in there. Close that up. And the good thing with the nose gear part is it has this little indent that you can get your finger into to pull it out with. So it's not too difficult. The other two, you can just go right here from the front and pull those out that way. But now, we've got our nice streamlined fighter mode. Alright. Now one of the other downsides that I have with this figure is that it only comes with 2 sets of wings. The wings that are attached on here right now, and then for the transformed mode, these anime style wings, so that way they're out of the way of the posing and everything on the figure, so you can get some more dynamic poses. It does not come with a 3rd set, which is the set that would normally have spots right here and here for armaments to be put on the wings for like missiles and missile pods and things like that. So I'm kind of disappointed in that respect, because in canon the VF-1D is combat ready and combat effective, so it could possibly carry those weapons on it. And the funny thing is, and I'm gonna try it, but this figure actually still has the ports and everything on it for attaching the super parts. So I could attach the super parts to this thing. So I just have to wonder why they didn't just include the alternate wings, but I guess it was a cost saving measure. Alright, but that is pretty much for fighter mode, and now we're going to do a special comparison. So this is the first fighter that Hikaru actually pilots, the first Valkyrie he actually pilots, and I have the second model that he gets later on once he officially joins the UN Spacey Forces. As you can see, the detailing is pretty much spot on. Now you can see here, they took great pains to replicate these black spots that are not on the VF-1J version. But otherwise, they're pretty much the same fighter with all the same details and everything, but with just the coloring different, and of course the different heads. Alrighty, now that we've taken a look at that, let's go ahead and move on to Jaywalk mode and look at some of the fantastic stuff that's available in that mode as well. Alright, and here we have the Jaywalk mode, or Guardian mode, depending on which version of Macross or Robotech you might be watching, you might be a fan of. And once again, detailing is awesome, but even better is the posability with the legs you get articulation here. The front part of the foot can actually articulate a little bit, and of course it can spread open. You don't really get a big side to side, but that's what the foot pivot right here is for, to give you a little bit of more flexibility. And then of course you got the joint right here, and then another joint here at the upper portion of the leg right in there to help get that nice bend. And the arms, of course, have a nice range of motion too. And I love the way they designed the arm joint right here, so it cants down, so it doesn't block the wing here. A lot of some of the other Valkyrie figures in some of the other series, it's kind of hard to position the shoulder to not be bumping against the wing, so I really appreciate the way they design this. But here, you got the nice bend there. Upper arm rotation on the arm there. So you get a lot of flexibility out of it with a double joint here and a joint there. And then joint at the shoulder right here. So you can still move the arm up and down there. And then also with that same special joint right in there, you get a little bit more flexibility too. And as you can see, you can store the gun pod on either the arms, because, or at least this arm I should say, sorry, not either arm, but you can stow it here. And then of course if you want to deploy it, you get a variety of hands. So first you extend it out, and then you pick up, and you have two options. You have this grip that you install here, and it just locks into place on the gun, so that way you get that. And then of course you got the trigger hand here. Now there's another grip that you can use, but this one is for the perfect transformation hands, and we don't use those because these are designed to fold up into the figure, but they're just ugly looking and they don't really fit the look of the figure, and they're just kind of throwaway. But we're gonna go ahead and put the gun into the gun hand here, move the finger up and over, and just slide that into the trigger. And there we go. We're gonna put the gun hand on. So you just pop this hand off, being very gentle as always. And then slightly pop that one on, and perfect. Once again, I love that. A lot of great detail there. But let's get to the gimmick that everybody remembers this mode for from the original show. Say hello to the future Miss Macross herself, Lin Min Mei. And this special sized hand that is exclusive for just this figure, you slip her into that hand, and now you have Lin Min Mei being rescued by Hikaru. So let's go ahead and swap those hands here. Then slide that on. And perfect. And now you can recreate that epic scene that Hikaru is saving Min Mei. Oops. There we go. And she is just riding in the hand of the Valkyrie VF-1D. as he is jetting down the streets trying to rescue her from the Zentradi attack. I absolutely love it. Now, I know there is the trainer version of the Macross Valkyrie, the VF-1 Ostrich, that I do believe comes with a Min-Mei figure. I'll have to look it up and take a look and see again. That actually is sitting in the seat. But I'm pretty sure she's not wearing this outfit during the movie. Yeah, I'm absolutely sure she's not wearing this outfit during the movie. So I have to look and see if that figure looks anywhere close to this one. It probably doesn't. And I'm kind of really disappointed there's not one for her to be in the cockpit, because yeah, it really should be one for her sitting in the cockpit as well, because there were quite a few scenes with her in the cockpit after he rescued her. But all in all, still, it's very cool. Now, speaking of hands, another thing that's interesting is the VF-1J comes with Do You Remember Love style, more mechanical hands versus the rounded hands that are used for the actual TV show Super Dimensional Fortress Macross. And I like those designs, but unfortunately the VF-1D only comes with the anime style hands, which I don't mind, but I would have loved the more mechanical style hands from Do You Remember Love, because I really love those on my Valkyries. And then, of course, speaking of, let's go ahead and show off one other thing. So with the VF-1J, the hands are actually molded into the grip for the gun pod, and then you just slide them in. And I kind of like that idea. I'm not sure why they didn't do that with the VF-1D, but let's go ahead and bring out the J again. Slide that right on. There we go. Go ahead and put his other hand on, like so. And there we go. And we got both Hikaru's original Valkyrie that he piloted for the first time, and then the one that he uses through the majority of the series until the end when he upgrades to the VF-1S. And together, once again, they look fantastic. Both of them using pretty much the same mold with a few variations, but otherwise fun. And that's what I love about the Hi-MetalR series. They are fun to play with, and because of the price point, you really don't have to worry about if you damage one. Not only are they affordable, but you can always find a copy of them. Now, some of the older ones are definitely harder to find, but the newer ones, they've been producing a lot more of them. So if you happen to break something, they're a lot more affordable and easier to find versus something like one of the DX Chogokin or Arcadia Valkyries. And that's what I love about these, because I can really get down and just play with these and pose them and everything and not worry about paint chipping or, you know, I might damage something during the transformation. They're really durable, rugged, and fun to play with. So if you really want a Valkyrie that you can handle and have fun with, these are definitely a fantastic choice. But let's go ahead and get down to the last mode, and that is going to be the Roid Mode. And we're going to have some fun with that one and check out a few extra features there as well, okay? And here is the Roid Mode. Once again, fantastic looking. Same posability with the legs and arms and everything, with a little bit more range. And of course, one of the key features that's cool about this version of the Hi-MetalRs, now they normally have what's called a filler piece that you can put in here to fill in this empty spot that's left from the transformation. But not only did they include the original filler piece like this right here that you can put in there, but they gave us quite possibly one of the coolest things. A filler piece with both the pilot and the co-pilot, or I should say the trainee and the training instructor pilot seats. So let's go ahead and throw this on real fast, just so that way you guys can see that. Then you just leave the head tilted forward. And there we go. I'm going to throw some pictures up here of it, just so you can get a clearer look. Now, one of the things that I have a problem with on this is the seats do not have the actual little peg in for the pilot to peg in. So when you put Hikaru there, he just kind of sits there. And so you have to be kind of really careful putting him in there. And you can't really move the figure around too much, but at least he does sit in there. So you can get that classic pose of him getting out of the cockpit and seeing Min-Mei for the first time in person. Alright, but let's go ahead. I'm gonna pop that off. Put in the regular filler here. Pop that in. There we go. Back piece back in place. Put the head down into place. There we go. And speaking of heads, as you can see, it's got the double sensor visor here. And the reason for that, and something that I've learned recently, is one sensor is for the trainee. The other sensor and screen is for the actual trainer. So he can see what the pilot is seeing and do his own observations and everything. So that's kind of neat. So you get a co-pilot and pilot view center on there. That's the reason why it's double like that. The head antennas, of course, like all the other ones, can move, and they are removable, so you can remove them while you're doing the transformation to make it easier to tuck the head in during the transformation and then slap them right back on. It does not come with extras, unfortunately, so do be very careful. You don't want to have to buy another figure just because you broke an antenna. But the antennas are very thick, and they're made out of a good material, so you don't have to worry about them breaking unless you're really just manhandling the figure. And of course, you got the thruster pack back there. So all in all, a fantastic figure, definitely worthy of the Hi-MetalR name. And once again, just for the cool factor, both Batroids, Batroid face down. VF-1D versus VF-1J. Who will win? But yeah, it's a fantastic figure. These figure line has been the most fun figure line that I've gotten for Macross. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look and see if we can actually put the super pack armors on this figure. So we're going to start with the armor and missile packs. And yep, that fits on there. So let's do the other arm. Got that right there. Oh, nice. Alright, and now for the leg armors. And yep, the leg armor fits. So now we got legs and we got arms, and we know there's one more set of armor, and that is the fast pack thrusters and boosters. And they do fit. All right, and now another reason to love the Hi-MetalR line, regardless of what model Valkyrie, you can still put the fast packs on it. And that looks great. So now we have a VF-1D trainer training for the fast packs. See how good you are. Can you handle the firepower and the extra speed and maneuverability that is afforded by the fast packs? All right. So that is definitely fantastic looking. I love it. So once again, I definitely recommend if you want to pick one of these up, they are still in stock the last time I checked at AmiAmi. You can also find them on websites like HobbyLink Japan and a few others. But honestly, AmiAmi has been doing great. They are fantastic. They always have a great selection. They have the ability to pre-order where you don't have to pay up front for the pre-order. Just pay for it when the figure is announced. And they even give you a few days in case you need to change the payment method. Or if, you know, you're waiting for your pay to come in and it just so happens your pre-order's there, they give you a few days to go ahead and accept and make your payment to them. So I definitely recommend shopping with them. Now, as for other announcements today, one of the big things that I want to announce is that the Macross lore series is going to continue. I want to apologize for the delay on that. I've had a few other things that I've been working on as of recently, getting my streaming service up and running, you know, over on Twitch. But rest assured, the next part of that is coming up very soon, and even more exciting because I know I love Valkyrie fighter planes, and I know a lot of people love the Valkyrie VF transforming Valkyrie series. I am going to start a lore series discussing in detail the in-universe awesome technology that goes into these Macross Valkyries. So look forward to that. It is going to be a Macross Valkyrie lore series. It's going to discuss the history of the Valkyries, their weapons, armament, technology, the pilots who piloted them that made them famous, and of course is going to include a ton of information that most of you probably have never known about Valkyrie fighter planes. I don't really see anything like that out there, so I definitely want to present it to you guys here at the GKaiser age for being such awesome fans. I've got over 100 subscribers. I've got over 100 subscribers now, and I'm really happy to have you all on board with me. So expect to see that series coming in the future. But my next review for figures is going to be a fantastic line that I have been enjoying incredibly these last few months, and that is the Transformers Siege line. So expect to see some Transformers action coming up soon, and I'm also going to be reviewing some of my third-party Transformer figures as well. Now, I've got some Gundam Master Grades that I'm also working on right now, so look forward to seeing some Gundam reviews too coming up. There is so much I'm going to be doing for my channel very soon, and I want to thank you all for joining me here and always being a part of the GKaiser age. So if you love Macross Valkyries and you want to see some Macross Valkyrie lore, comment down below. Let me know what Macross Valkyrie is your favorite Valkyrie and how excited you are to hear all the intricate details and everything presented in an awesome video series. Once again, check out all my links listed down below for all the different websites like my Twitch, my Twitter, and my Facebook page. Once again, thank you for joining me here in the GKaiser age. Leave those likes and comments to help this channel keep growing. And I hope to see you guys all again in the next Macross battle.